Thank you, friends from the media, or keep watching and yelling outside this court because with every court session, in fact, we can know that a lot of justice can be given to Ko Wen through the direct statements of witnesses. For example, today, we saw Liu Xuling, the former secret of the Metropolitan Committee. She was in town today. In fact, it severely showed that she hit the past weekly magazines and even famous mouths like Zhang Xiaoping and what they revealed. It's all false information and it's all rumors out of thin air. Why do you say that? Today, Liu Xuling openly told everyone directly in court that Ko Wen never instructed him, even spoke to him, or gave any instructions. But in the past, we often saw newspapers and magazines say that Ko Wen put him in limbo. Even Zhou Xiaoping also cooperated with newspapers and magazines to cooperate with recent weekly magazines and then said that Liu Xuling was put into limbo by Ko Wen-je's reputation because she blocked Jinhua City. But today, Liu Xuling directly confirmed that Ko Wen-je had never given him any instructions or contacted him. May I ask how to put him into limbo without contacting him? The second thing is that among the quite a lot of evidence presented by this prosecutor's arraignment yell, one of them is that when Xiao Xiupei testified, he mentioned that Liu Xuling was denounced by Ying Xiaowei on the spot in the meeting of the mayor's office, and then told him not to come to the relevant meeting again, and it was better to do it in front of the mayor. This is what Xiao Xiupei told the prosecutor, but what? When the prosecutor presented the evidence on the spot, Liu Xuling said, "This is not true. She has never attended the meeting of the mayor's office. She has never been denounced by Ying Xiaowei in front of Ko Wen, and she has not been told that you should stop attending relevant meetings since you..." So this process is being established. In fact, the foundation of Liu Xuling being put into limbo has been completely destroyed today. That is to say, he has never been. These processes may have been embellished in the messages transmitted in the middle, or misunderstood in the messages transmitted, resulting in this Xiao Xiupei testifying with the prosecutor. Okay, these misunderstandings, but what? Liu Xuling also made it very clear in this court that I actually explained all these processes to the prosecutor, and he told the prosecutor from beginning to end that Ko Wen had not given him any instructions. However, from the weekly magazine in the past investigation process to the present prosecution, quite a few rumors spread by this media are still saying that this Liu Xuling was put into limbo by Ko Wen because he obstructed Jinhua City. Then today, quite a few short newsletters were revealed in court, and the content of this short newsletter was also deliberately erased unilaterally before. Because why? Because these newsletters are actually beneficial to Ko Wen. Why do you say that? What about inside this newsletter? It's Liu Xuling. She sent a message to Vice Mayor Peng Zhensen. What about the content of her message to Vice Mayor Peng Zhensen? It is mentioned that this Beijing City Committee has all checks, and even if there is no trial, it will be rewarded. What about the members now? In fact, the consideration of the question has been reviewed and approved by the Metropolitan Committee, which means that Liu Xuling has already made a guarantee with Vice Mayor Peng. He even asked Peng Fu to rest assured because all this has gone through the deliberation process of the Metropolitan Committee, and what? These are all legal and reasonable according to the procedure, so his judiciality. Today, Liu Xuling said that all the procedures were well explained. He was just putting forward relevant opinions and there were some different opinions in them. However, in the relevant expert group meeting after the first meeting, the expert committee raised it, but no member questioned the legality later. That is to say, when these cases were passed by the Metropolitan Committee during this deliberation process, what about the municipal government? There is no right to veto it. There is no right to veto it because these are all decisions made after the deliberation of experts of the Metropolitan Committee and the Metropolitan Committee. What about them? There's a lot of detail. In the past investigation process, the prosecutor broke the rules and took the meaning, and then he was misled. It seemed that Ko Wen covered the sky with one hand and opened many doors to Beijing City, but in fact, everything was handled according to law, and everything was changed according to Article 24 of the Urban Planning Law. The applicant submitted an application for this customized Western plan. So to sum up, Liu Xiuling also said today that no one is strongly leading this process. He said that no one is strongly leading this process, so there is a legality discussion in this process, and he even gave one to the service mayor. Why is this such a clear newsletter saying that, Deputy Mayor, please rest assured that everything is handled according to law? Excuse me? How is the deliberation process deducted? Ko Wen, he has a profit. How to deduct it? Ko Wen has this reward for releasing water and relaxing volume, let alone today. When Liu Xiuling was questioned by the prosecutor, we saw that the prosecutor directly said that we were not experts in urban planning. So what? There are many details I want to ask Liu Xiuling, so please ask me. A prosecutor, he said that he was not an expert in urban planning, but he could directly let their subjective opinions go and then sue, thinking that Ko Wen was illegal in this Jinhua City case, and he used relevant regulations and even illegally used them. But what he found, what he asked, from the past to the present, Lin Jinrong, Lin Zhou-ming, and even now Liu Xiuling said that the urban plan can be put forward. Change of the plan. So when experts tell you that you can change the title according to Article 24 of the Urban Planning Law, why don't any urban planning professional prosecutors use subjective determination to think that it is illegal? Therefore, we hope that through every court session and the contents of every witness's testimony in court, Ko Wen can be cleared and everyone can see the whole picture of this incident more clearly. In fact, there are a lot of malicious things in the middle. The process is, as I just said, there is nothing to go into limbo. But Zhong Xiaoping maliciously spread rumors to discredit his life experience and cooperated with this recent weekly magazine and even related media reports to erase Ko Wen's personality. Until now, he actually wants to be brazen. Turn, or is his attitude arguable? Therefore, it is also obvious from this matter. Many things are caused by many people who are interested in manipulating politics and putting too many political struggles into it, which will lead to the stigmatization of the case. There is no way to get to the bottom of the situation, so I still hope the court can. Let Ko Wen have more opportunities to see clearly that he actually handled the process according to law. Okay.
Now in court, although Liu Chunyun may have different opinions on this volume reward, he also said respect. As a divine hiding result, is this what the Metropolitan Committee will handle?
Yes, that is to say, I just mentioned Liu Xiuling, and she also said, of course, she will put forward some opinions in the middle of the East, but many opinions and contents are just his ideas. But what about? After the experts of the Metropolitan Committee reviewed the results, he respected the decision of the Metropolitan Committee in everything. Well, that's not to mention that today, the lawyer asked this so-called. Liu Xiuling's opinion said, hey, why is this just the chairman of the so-called Metropolitan Committee? As a PM, he had no precedent in the past, which means that Ko Wen instructed Vice Mayor Peng Zhensheng to be the PM of this pure Jinhua case. The purpose is to speed up the administrative efficiency because since Ko Wen took office, he has asked for the appointment of PM in the form of PM system, which can improve this administrative efficiency in Liu Xiuling. She also agrees with this approach. That is to say, Liu Xiuling also agrees that the PM system is to improve the efficiency of the whole administration, not for any intensity. Guanshen is not to release water, so the PM system cannot be stigmatized, and the PM system is to improve administrative efficiency. Not to mention, it was also mentioned today, the so-called chairman of the Metropolitan Committee can't serve as PM. In fact, this matter is not the only case in Beijing City. Therefore, in fact, in many cases, he is not without potential. In many cases, the chairman of the Metropolitan Committee can actually serve as PM. So why is such potential guilty in Essence City? Okay.
That's because Meteor seems to mention that he didn't end up with Mayor K directly. Does that also mean that Mayor K didn't seem to directly intervene in this case?
Just now, you reminded me of one thing. That is, in fact, what about the process in this court? Liu Xiuling, she also mentioned one thing. That is, why did she receive the secretary of the mayor's office and then ask her to do whatever she wanted? Who? That text message is actually not his direct message. Received from Li Minwei, secretary of the mayor's office. I also heard from other special committees that this is Li Bingwei, the secretary of the mayor's office, who told everyone what should be done. But what? Li Minhui didn't say this accusation or gave any guidance to Liu Xiuling or even? He couldn't even confirm whether Li Minhui really followed Ko Wen's will to send this message. That is to say, this message was probably just Li Minhui. As the vice president of the government, she then transferred her petition to the councillors, hoping to speed up the process of communication and coordination between them. However, it was misunderstood that Ko Wen asked this to do whatever he wanted through the secretary of the mayor's office. That's not the case, because Liu Xiuling can't confirm that this newsletter was written by the mayor named Li Minhui, and Liu Xiuling can't confirm that this newsletter represents what the mayor wants him to do, so the mayor also said it today. He told the prosecutor Ko Wen that he didn't do anything from beginning to end, but that he did anything, so don't insist on blaming Ko Wen. Okay, thank you everyone, thank you.